channel. I just watched the new Doctor Strange and I have feelings and I'm like, whoa. This video will have spoilers, so please be fair warned. And yeah, let's just get into it. I did not like the first Doctor Strange. I I just didn't really understand it. It felt like there was just things that didn't add up. It got me dizzy. That's what it was. And then this one came out and I was like, fine, I'll watch it. It has Wanda in it. It's Marvel. I need to watch it so that way I'm not shunned. And also I do want to watch it. So yeah, I watched it. And from like the start of it, I was just like, what in the world is going on? Like, I was confused. I'm like, where are we at? And then, like, it started off with America and Steven, like, in this otherworldly, like, I thought we were, like, already, like, it was gonna show, like, a part of the movie, like, later on, and then, like, it, like, goes back in time and explains how we got there. And they're, like, in this otherworldly kind of like space like thing, and they are trying to outrun these electrical kind of squid like monsters with like, yeah, with lightning tentacles and stuff. And then like Strange doesn't look like himself, so obviously you know it's like another version of him. Um, and that would mean that uh, America is from a different place, a different universe. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, you dress like you're from Earth. Like, you seem like you're from Earth. Like, and then later on it's revealed that she, like, where she's from. And I'm like, so how did you get to dress like this? Because, like, okay, you visited multiple multiverses and I see that they're all wearing different things. Like, none of them look like the average clothing that we wear. Where did you get, like, I don't understand. And then, like, she's like wearing Converse. So I'm like, okay. Um, and so, he's like trying to, like, later we learn, trying to get, to the book, that, like, is going to stop these demon creatures from trying to get her, and stop whatever's going on from turning into this big thing because she has the power to travel and make portals to different universes. And that's like such a scary thing, obviously, because like here we are after Spider-Man. There was a lot of Spider-Man references, and I was very sad that America did not know who Spider-Man was. But then she is from a different universe, so I was like, okay. But at the same time, like, in that moment, I'm like, nobody knows who Spider Man is. And I just had a moment of like, okay. Um, I watched a TikTok, and I think it was like the director or the producer of this movie. It was like the red carpet premiere. And he was like, at the end of Loki, they messed things up, which allow things to happen. And I'm like, first of all, why is he spoiling so much? But I'm like, okay. And which allow things to happen in Spider-Man to allow things to happen in this movie. And I'm like, that makes sense now. Because like it's very hard sometimes to like link like the Disney Plus TV shows to what's going on like in the actual movies. Like it's like, but it's all connected obviously, but I didn't know exactly how what happened at the end of Loki affected, like, because they didn't really like talk about it. It was just kind of like it was what it was. um and like then Spider-Man happened and it was just like, so what happened to the universe? So I don't know what's going on in Loki world, but apparently this is what's going on in the rest of the world. Like things are just getting messed up and spells are being cast that shouldn't be cast, and like all these different things. And I was like, that makes sense. And I kind of forgot like the whole Loki thing, and I didn't incorporate it into like my theories for this because it was like, I don't know, Doctor Strange just is like, he does things that he's not supposed to anyway. So I didn't know why he didn't like save Iron Man and all that stuff. So I was just kind of like, dude, but then you help Spider-Man. Like, but then okay, it makes sense. But dude is still complicated. Um. So yeah. I was like, okay, that makes sense. And um. So the girl ends up being like, first of all, the Doctor Strange, like in that universe that she found or whatever, he gets stabbed by this tentacle thing. But first he tries to take away her powers because he's like, it's too dangerous and this and that. But then wouldn't they be going after him? And if these things then kill him, like, what's the, like, what it, okay. And so she like is so scared that she opens up a portal. The thing goes through and ends up becoming this giant squid thing, or maybe it's not the same thing. I'm not sure. And then we open up and we're at Strange's ex girlfriend's wedding, and like he is kind of mopey, but still kind of happy, but pretending to be happy. Um, and there's this guy who's like explaining like things that happened as a result of like the blip and everything, when everybody disappeared, and like what he's lost and everything, and kind of like giving it to Strange a little bit. And he's like, well, that's how it's supposed to happen. I'm just sitting there like, sure, okay. And then we hear a loud boom and discover that the squid thingies are attacking the city. Doctor Strange pulls out his cape. He goes. Um, and then Wong shows up, and he's all Sorcerer Supreme now, and like is too cool for everybody else. And then they meet America. Um, and apparently, because when we first see Strange, he wakes up like after having a bad dream, and the bad dream seems to have been what had happened in the space thing with like the other Strange and everything with America. Um, and so apparently he was having dreams about that. And according to America, your dreams are like your other multiverse selves, um, just doing things, and living their life, which is kind of scary and kind of sad. And it's like, okay. And now you kind of think about it, like, how many nightmares has this guy been having? So yeah, she is like afraid of him and doesn't want to be near him and doesn't like him because the other him tried to steal her powers, and like, but she kind of has to trust him. They take um her to the secret sanctum thing, and uh they Wong and him are talking. They're like, this looks like witchcraft, and you're like, cue Wanda. And we go to Wanda, and she's over here having nightmares herself, about her kids and everything, but they're like good dreams. But it's like she wakes up and she's like sad. And she converted the whole like place where she was at into this like kind of like almond field thing. And like last time we saw her, like there was a duplicate of herself reading the Book of Shadows thing. And so I was like, okay, so is there like a part of her that like is trapped? Like, what's going on? And so then we go to her, and at first everything seems cool, and then she like does a 180 on us, and suddenly is like, I'm gonna steal this girl and her powers. I'm the one who's been sending things out to get her. So yeah, like she's gonna die. I'm gonna take her powers, and I'm going to use her powers to go to another universe and become my other universe's kids, because she has kids in these other universes, um who are like the kids that she had before that she magically made up. And I'm gonna be their mom. And then like Steven's like, well, what about their mom? And she doesn't care. And later on, like when they're like, she's in the house with the other mom, and like the other her. She's like, get away. And it's like, that's you. How off your rocker do you have to be right now? Like, this whole movie was Wanda throwing a tantrum. And I didn't like that. But it was also her, like, being all, like, super mom. And, like, fighting for her kids. But at the same time, like, being severely depressed and taking it out in the world. She was legit creepy. Like this, there's parts of this that could have been like a horror movie. Like her just coming out of the darkness with her glowing red eyes. I was like, oh my god. Like she full on psycho right now. Like what is going on? Like and then her covered in like blood and like Ultron oil and like that's from a like apparently in this universe the Ultrons are fine. But like anyway, like it's just like oh my god, she's like limping and barefoot. I'm like Wanda, chill. Like oh my god, like this is insane. And like of course the characters are like freaking out because it's like yeah, she's like oh my goodness. And then like I don't even know how Strange found out she was a witch. Apparently, she had powers from the Tesseract before, so how did he know? But he knows everything apparently. But he didn't know that she was like studying this book and like was off her rocker. So like you know things, you don't know things. And then they're like, she's a Scarlet Witch, of course she can do this and that, and it's like she kills everybody, and it's like Wanda, what? And apparently she's like being consumed by the power of this book, and it's like, oh my god, and this book allows her to do all these crazy like stuff and like she's full on snapping people's necks and like doing like she did like in the first movie, like talking like to people in their ear, like that I haven't seen in a long time, and it was cool, but it was done like in a really creepy way where I was like, oh my god. And like so she was doing that, and then people were dying. She was like incinerating people, like so many people died. If like the thing that gets me is like she was like feeling so bad after hurting all these people, um and creating this fake world and everything, and they didn't like her. Of course now they're not gonna like, because look, like you went from depressed to like redeeming yourself to a certain extent to like full on like you lost it, like what is going on, because you depended so much on, like now it's not that you miss vision, like every time you lose someone, Wanda, you go off the rails, like you lost vision and then now you lost your kids, and it's just like woo, and it's like it's a lot. Like I'm just like stunned that she didn't freak out this way when she lost her brother. Like if there would have been a whole like movie after Age of Ultron like about that, that would have been insane. Like no, now they're just making her like slowly fall to pieces because she just keeps losing things and losing things, things that she had like created and lost herself. But like you gotta feel for the girl, you know. But at the same time, she went full on the ring and like creepy and stuff. Um, so yeah, and then like Doctor Strange is like over here trying to help America, um, and Wong is like trying to be all Sorcerer Supreme and protect everybody and everything. Um, and it's just not working because she's like killing everybody, and so then like this, um, the girl America, she freaks out and they end up traveling in a portal to another universe. They are there. This in this universe, they trap them. They're being mean to them. They're saying that the other Stephen Strange got kind of like what happened to Wanda, where he got kind of like possessed by this power of the book, and it kind of like overwhelmed him, and like it caused him to like make mistakes and everything. And so then they ended up killing him, but then they said, oh, like we said that he died defeating Thanos, and then we're seeing um we're seeing Captain Carter, which was interesting. We are seeing all these new superheroes. We're seeing new Captain Marvel. We're seeing Reed from Fantastic Four, because why not? And then we also see Professor X and him get his neck snap. Like if Wanda can help Professor X and he can help, he couldn't like really even help Jean, but like he was still like there, like like, and like these are like powerful individuals, like it's insane. Like you would think Professor X out of any of them, and like I loved how the theme song from X-Men played as he like rolled in. It was just like yes, but like he like there was like this like weird aura with all of them. They just were like mean, kind of grumpy people. There was like this tension in the world, like that they were in. Like there was like again that um there was that guy from the first movie that was his friend and then like wanted to kill him and everything, and now he was like the sorcerer supreme and everything, and like then he wanted to kill him in this one too, but then like he ends up getting stuck in the little crevice thing. um so I don't think he dies. And then we have Christine, um their version, who's like in charge of like the facility. Apparently they're called the Illuminati. I don't know if that was supposed to be funny, but I was just like, what is happening? um but anyway, back to Dr. X. Like he like was able to like find like Wanda trapped in like the crevices of her past and the debris of like when her parents died and everything, in her mind. And like it was interesting just to see him like walking to her, because I find it funny that like in all his like mind like visions he's always walking. It's like very like disorienting, but it's like okay. um and I don't know if it was like a trick play by Wanda, because then like he's surrounded by like Wanda's like red like smoke. Like, she's causing all these smoke things, like she's being so creepy. And she looked amazing, by the way. She looked amazing. Like spot on, better than like she did in WandaVision at the end. Like amazing. And so like being all creepy and mysterious and everything, and then she snaps his neck and shreds Dr. Fantastic and slices Captain Carter in half and throws a statue on Captain Marvel. One guy, his head blows up. Don't understand that. Uh, Many things happen. Many things. But that was basically it. Just a lot of people kept dying, and I'm like, this is a Marvel movie. Like, how are all these people dying? Like, it was very bloody, but not like they didn't show the blood, but like people like it was intense. And to see Wanda as the bad guy, like I didn't expect that. Did not expect that at all. But like I feel like the trailers and like the teaser trailers, everything just like gave enough information for you to think that this movie was going to be something that it absolutely was not. Um and like yeah, I just love creepy Wanda. It was great. I just wish like I had been more prepared for it. Um so it's like yes, like just all yes with her, but at the same time it's like no, like what are you doing? Like oh my goodness. And then she ends up possessing like another her, like with the book and everything. Like she possesses the one that's with like Strange in that universe. And it's like just like this Wanda, I didn't even know she had her powers until like at one point, like who has her kids, like, and like is just a house mom, and then she gets possessed by this Wanda and ends up flying into the night barefooted, and then like finding herself in random places, stepping on glass, all covered in blood and oil. Just like, oh my god, this is intense. And also, like, okay, I understand why she would have the kids in different universes, like that whole like, it's different, it's not the same thing and everything. But like, who is the father of these kids in these universes? Like, is it Vision? Because how would it be Vision? I'm not quite sure. And do these kids also have powers like their mom? Like, and like there was a scene when the kids are like singing to her, like I felt like they weren't from WandaVision. I was like, these are not the kids. Like the kids wouldn't do that. It was very out of character for them. But anyway, and then she's like minute like I love you to the kids, and then like eyes turning red, and it's very creepy. um and then Strange ends up turning into like Zombie Strange. And I know like I don't watch What If, but I know it's like reference to that, and everyone was freaking out about that and everything. But basically, the original like Strange that got stabbed got buried in like the original universe that he was in, and then so Wanda ends up destroying the book that like can save everything, and Christine ends up with them and everything, and so they end up going to a different dimension, finding a different Doctor Strange because that's what they're doing to try to like find ways to like get out of there and everything, and like America can't control her powers. So then he ends up using the bad book because all Strange end up using this book, including the one that they end up finding later and that has three eyes and ends up fighting them with music. Um, he uses the book to possess the dead Strange, become a zombie. It was walking like this. I don't know how he gets like all the way to this like they're in like the Arctic or something like um in the other like the cave of like Wanda that apparently she's like the keeper of the book and everything, and there's all these monster things that Wanda takes her to, and then like she's like basically doing like sacrifices on America right there like on the altar, and like it's just like it's crazy. And so then he like there's these dementor things, they become his cape and he becomes one with them and everything, and like then there's Christine with him in the other universe like hearing him talk to himself. It must have been a very weird experience. But yeah, and then like Wong is like not even worried about it at that point. He got knocked out for some time and then he found his way back up and everything. And then America suddenly is like, I can use my powers and everything. Um and like Strange is like, I'm not gonna steal your powers, no, like I want you to embrace them. And uh again, I don't understand how him taking like Wanda would just use like what, and you're like dead at this point. Like, what is she gonna like? I don't know. And uh, then in the ending scene where Wanda is like choking America and like she's in front of her kids, from the other universe, and the other Wanda, I guess she kind of figured out like what was going on, or like has some memories or something, but like she's just so calm and everything, and like she goes up to the other Wanda and like basically tells her it's okay and everything, like um but like the kids see like this evil thing like that like looks like their mom but like also doesn't anymore, and like they're like terrified, and like then Wanda has that whole like, you are not their mother, and it's like, but she look, it's you but yeah, and the kids are terrified, and it's like a moment of like realization for her, like, oh my god, like what have I been doing? I'm like, didn't we have this realization like back in Disney Plus, like something like this, like now, like okay, and then like she decides to destroy the temple and everything, and then Doctor Strange leaves the zombie body, and the zombie body dies in the temple, and well, it's already dead and everything, and then America and Wong go and like rescue him and Christine from the other universe, but then they had to like return Christine because she can't stay. I would have liked for her to stay because then he would have ended up with her and everything would have been fine and great. Um, but yeah, and then like I don't understand why that Doctor Strange had three eyes. Um, Mr. Fantastic was like the only guy I trusted from that one world because he's like that loving daddy figure from The Quiet Place, and like I am like I only trust you. Like I only trust you. Um so yeah. Lots of feelings about this movie. At the end we assume Wanda is like buried under this rubble and dead or something because he like acts like she didn't make it. And then apparently like if Wanda's the keeper of this book, anybody else who uses it must have some repercussions for using it. But then Agatha used it and like she just kind of like, but she was a witch. So Doctor Strange being like a sorcerer, which is basically a male witch, like we're like, does he have any repercussions? And then in the end he has a third eye and it's like, whoa. And then he goes into this vortex portal thingy with this lady in purple, um, with three eyes, and everything is cool. and I'm just so confused. And then yeah, like he just like when it first happens, he's like freaking out, and then he like falls in the street, and then he just gets their eyes. But like before that, he is in the secret sanctum with uh America and Wong, and she's like learning like how to use like the Force now and everything, um, and, like magic. And I don't know if that's like goes hand in hand with like her powers, like I don't know that much about that. But yeah, I think Wanda's gonna come back. Hopefully okay and sane, and we don't have another one of those moments. Um, what else? The three-eye guy got impaled. Many Stevens, many Stevens. Um, there was pizza balls that I really wanted because they kind of reminded me of Tostinos. I wanted those. Um, all these little fun thingies with going to other worlds, I mean universes and stuff. Steven not getting the girl in like any of them. Very sad, very sad. His cape turning into a scarf in that one scene, that was new. That was interesting. That's all I got. I don't know like what else to say. What's gonna happen? There was these little funny jokes about like Mr. Fantastic too, like weren't you like in this like I don't know what movies they're gonna make next after like Love and Thunder come out, and I don't know Black Panther 2. Um I'm just going with it. Um but it was not what I expected. Wanda was fierce though. Captain Strange was better than he was in the first movie. America was goals. Wong was amazing. Everything else was insane.